94 Rocks, Jay-Z here, and I'm sitting, which is always great when I get the guests to come in studio rather than on the phone or via Zoom. I'm sitting with the Midsummer Music Fest crew, that being Jena and Brad. Thanks so much for joining us. And of course, on a day today, it's a little chilly, but in about 4 months, it'll be 80 degrees. The sun will be shining. And it'll be louder than you know what at Midsummer Music Fest up in Monaga, Minnesota, which is coming up once again July 23rd through the 25th. I believe this is the 6th annual Midsummer Music Fest. And Jena, thanks so much for joining me, and Brad too. Let's talk about this. It's coming up, and it's not that far away, is it, Jena?
No, it's not. Well, yes, thanks for having us. We're getting really excited for it. So we've got a lot of great bands coming this year.
Let's talk about that. Of course, that's what everybody wants to know, is the music, the lineup, all that stuff. So why don't you give us kind of the lowdown of how this all came about, the lineup for this year, and kind of break it down each day. We'll start with actually maybe your pre-party even on Wednesday.
Yes, yep. So our pre-party is always kind of the fun kickoff for the weekend. So we have our tribute bands that evening with The Hype, which they're the band that does 5 bands from the 80s. So they're really fun. We had them a couple of years ago, and they always put on a great show. They're the headliners. Then that day, we also have the Hybrid Theory, which is the Linkin Park tribute band, which we had as well. They're a good time. And then the Rebel Queens, which is an all-female tribute band from Minneapolis area. And then Raz will be on our side stage throughout the day.
Awesome. So that is the pre-jam. Now, let's talk about tickets for that. Do you have to have special tickets for the pre-jam at all?
Yes. So we actually start early camping on Tuesday. So if a person comes anytime on Tuesday or Wednesday, they need to have the pre-party ticket, which is just $25.
Okay. Very
that
cool.
Covers, the concerts and the camping.
And then, of course, all the big stuff starts on Thursday.
Yes. So Thursday is Dorothy for the headliner. So we're super excited for her. And Nonpoint is opening for her. So that's going to just be a really good day of kind of the harder rock music. And then we have Varsity as well, which they're a little bit newer of a band. And then we have some really good tribute bands that day as well, Rock Gods and Rival 5. And then Wayside is on the side stage.
Very cool. And yes, Varsity is kind of an up-and-coming band, but we spin them here on 94 Rocks, a very good band.
Yes, they're going to be a good show. So.
And Dorothy, seen her before, she'll be amazing.
Yeah. Yep, our first female headliner, so we're really excited for her.
Ah, very cool.
Yes.
Very cool. When you're doing the picking of the bands, obviously, I'm assuming you've kind of got a list and stuff that you are able to use or get out there. Yeah. Why did you guys choose Dorothy?
So we always want to make sure we have kind of a mix-up of 80s, 90s, and 2000s rock, so everybody has somebody that they know and like. But Dorothy has actually been very requested over the past few years, so we always like to ask fans bands that they want to see, and so she's been on our radar for a long time. And then it's always just kind of about pairing up the bands that go really well together. So Nonpoint is another one that we've thought of for years, and we just thought they would go really well together, and people are really excited for that combo.
Yeah, they're going to be great. A new album coming out, too, for them, too. So they'll have some new music, probably just leading up to Midsummer Music Fest. So that's on Thursday, July 23rd. How about Friday, July 24th?
So Friday is kind of our big 80s day. So we've got Warrant headlining. Again, just another band that has always been highly requested. So we're super excited that we're finally able to get them there. And then we have White Lion, Honeymoon Suite, and then Ted Poley from Danger Danger. Again, all just bands that we've always been kind of interested in. Honeymoon Suite is from Canada, so we're kind of excited to get to hopefully have a lot of Canadians come down for them. And White Lion only tours in the U.S. like every other year, so just super excited that we were able to get them to work out.
They're going to be that whole lineup, especially kind of an 80s vibe, even early 90s vibe. And I like that you guys do that. What was the reason you decided to kind of have that? Because you see some festivals, they go one direction, the other, but you guys have thrown in the 80s along with some of the newer stuff. Yeah.
Again, I think it's just kind of making sure that everybody has a band that they know and like. And, we always try to have some type of classic rock, which, there's not as many of the classic rock bands around anymore. So 80s is kind of the way to wrap in that the kind of 80s music and the more classic. And then that's why we like to have our tribute bands as well. So we have like a Pandemic and System 13 that day too. So then you can kind of hear more of the music that maybe the bands that aren't performing anymore that we get to listen to.
And of course, then it wraps up, hard to believe, but it goes fast. I know for you guys, it wraps up on Saturday, July 25th, and an amazing headliner in Collective Soul.
Yes, we're very, very excited for them. They're kind of a band that I think all age groups kind of know. They have so many hits and have been around long enough that they put on a great show still, but yet everybody can kind of find a song or two that they know by them. So they're going to be a good time. And then we also have Took, which they are another Canadian band. They are kind of a super group, so they have members from all different kinds of bands. The lead singer has performed with like Slash and Miles Kennedy a lot, and the other guys have been with Kelly Clarkson, Shania Twain, so they have a lot of experience between all of them, and they do Canadian cover songs, and then they also have a lot of their own music as well. So I think they're going to be a big kind of like surprise band that people are going to be like, oh wow, I didn't realize they did all of this. So they're going to be a really good one to open for Collective Soul and get the party started that night. And then we have Royal Inn and Kingdom Collapse, which are both newer bands as well, up and coming bands. So you'll get to hear a little bit of the 90s rock that day and some of the newer stuff. And then we have Metallica, which is the Metallica tribute band. And then Pray for Rain is a Fargo tribute band. So we got a good mix up that day too.
Absolutely. And I will attest for Royal Inn, Kingdom Collapse, seen them both, hung out with both of them, amazing bands. And they're going to be, you're going to want to be there early for all these bands. That's for sure.
Yep. Those early bands are the ones that can really surprise you with, kind of introducing you to some new songs and music that you might not know, but people end up loving.
So that's the music side. And, of course, all this information is at midsummermusicfest.com. So if you just heard all that and go, there's so many bands that Jena just mentioned, I can't remember the names, but just midsummermusicfest.com is the place to go, right?
And all of the tickets and camping are purchased online, so it's super easy to just go on there and print everything off or save it right to your phone, and that's all you got to do.
All right, so we talked about the music. Now let's go over to Brad, and let's talk about the camping. Because at festivals, it's one thing to go to see the music, but the camping sometimes is the best part, isn't it, Brad?
Yes, sir. And like Jena said, if you go to Midsummer Music Fest, she says it's very easy. I would suggest calling her to find the best campsite that suits you. Right now, we have 5 campsites available in this campground, 3 campsites available in another campground. We have a newly built campground called Veterans Memorial, and it's very close in proximity to the Music Fest. So if you want to get your music in your camping, I would suggest doing it while these campsites are available. We'll always have available camping in our general campsite, which is a large field out back. We do have a shuttle that brings people back and forth, although it's not that long of a walk, about the length of a football field.
You guys have done a lot of improvements as you've gone along. This is year number 6, and of course, when you started this, you had only so much camping, and I noticed you've been doing a lot of removing of shrubbery, different things to make more sites. What are some of the maybe improvements, some of the things that you've done over the last year or two to expand that camping, Brad?
We always upgrade our roads, whatever looks like needs to be done, and maybe we need to take a tree out here and there because a person that has bought in a campsite says, hey, if you could remove that tree, my camper could fit in a little bit better. So really, in the last year, that's all that we've done, but basically every year we've built between 20 and 50 campsites. So now we're up to about 1,300 campsites.
Wow, that's a lot of campsites. And, of course, how about some of the amenities in that when it comes to camping? Do you have still electric? Do you have some setups like that? Are those already sold out? What are people having to, I guess, think about when they're going to purchase camping for Midsummer Music Fest?
Well, the electric is sold out, and there is a wait list for that. So most people just bring their generators. And talking about the amenities for camping, we have a shower house. You pay $7.
Some price it is, but so it's a paid shower, but it's on site. You have something available there,
yep,
which is important, especially when you're at a rock show for multiple days.
Yep. As far as other amenities, the inside of the music bowl, there's always a place to eat, and there's always something to drink.
Let's talk about, obviously, so there's camping, you've got the music, but you have other events and stuff that are going on, too, throughout this entire time, and maybe some of those are kind of earlier on just to get ready for the music. What are some of the events that you have going on?
So during the day, we have our 94Rocks tent, sponsored by you awesome guys here. So we have a stage under there where we have a band that is always playing in between the main stage acts. But then during the day, starting around noon, we have daily activities. So we have like music bingo, which is really fun. We have beanbag tournaments. We have a mulkey tournament. Last year we had a class where you paint a picture along. So there's always something going on there. And then there's a bar right in there as well. Last year we had a pancake feed put on by the Monaga Lions. So that started at 8 a.m. and then we have a Bloody Mary bar and stuff in there too. So if you are looking for something to do, you could always go under that side stage tent and there will be something going on.
And it's also a good place to maybe get out of the sun a little bit too, isn't it?
Yes. Yep. Absolutely. Yep. We have a ton of tables and chairs in there. It's a huge tent. Then we also have pull tabs that are going on all day as well. So there's always something to do.
All right, let's talk about VIP.
Yeah.
Because somebody might want to go VIP, and, you go to a lot of these festivals, and the VIPs are already sold out,
right.
But your VIPs are not yet, correct?
Yes. So my favorite thing about VIP is that it is separated right by general admission, so you still get really close to the stage. So we have this whole area with a bar built. There's a deck in there, so people can go up on the deck and have a really cool view of the stage. Then we have a tent in there as well with covered seating. So there's lots of different areas for you to hang out. And then we have side stage access as well. So you can go up and just be on stage while the artist is performing. And then there's free beer and free seltzer on tap. And then we have free pop and water and snacks throughout the day. And then you also get one food ticket a day to use at any of our food vendors for a meal. So it's a really cool way to experience the festival.
Absolutely. And how about in the campground? Let's talk about that. I think you guys do contests about the dress up of the campers and the contests of those too, right?
Yep. We have a camping contest that gets judged on Saturday of the festival. So our photographer and some staff members drive around and judge kind of all the campsites so people can dress up to go along with their campsite theme and decorate. And it's a really fun way to visit the campsites as well, that everybody's very welcoming and a big kind of family setting. So you kind of start to learn where all these big camps are and stop by and visit and have a drink or a snack with them and get to hang out for a little bit. So it's really fun even just to go explore the campgrounds and do a walkabout for the day and visit with everybody.
We're talking with Jena and Brad, obviously, from Midsummer Music Fest. It is coming up July 23rd through the 25th in Monaga, Minnesota, and we're excited about that. Before we get into the tickets and that, and I guess I want to say one thing. It takes a village to put this on, and I'm sure there are plenty of volunteers that and probably too many to announce, but it's important that you have all those volunteers and those great relationships.
Yes. Well, the festival is family owned and operated. So we have, the 4 owners, 2 brothers, and then their 2 wives. And then the community of Monaga, Park Rapids, Sabika, Wadena, we have so many friends and family that come and help and volunteer and want to make sure the festival succeeds and grows. So without all of our family and friends, we definitely wouldn't be able to put this on. And then, word of mouth too is just friends invite their friends and so on and so on. And that's how it keeps growing. And we keep getting all these people in to help us. And we have met a lot of great people over the years that have even just come to the festival and bring all of their friends and families and then ask, what can we do to help? And so we have a lot of our customers that have turned into good friends as well that do a lot to help us and help promote. So we're very thankful for everybody. And, like you guys too are great supporters and have been with us from day one. So we're really lucky to have great people like that too that help us get the word out about our festival. So we appreciate it.
I appreciate that. It's been a lot of fun. And Brad, I know that this is probably a vision maybe that you had in your mind for many years, and now it's coming actually to truth. What does it, I guess, mean to you to see the growth and the success of this?
Well, from where we started with maybe 1,000 people that showed up year one to where we're at now. Yes, it does mean a lot to both me and Brett and Jackie and Jenny. We can kind of see what we're doing is working. We do a lot of promoting on our own, whether it's just going to your local bar on a Friday night and talking to people about music, or whether it's doing a pre-party with Ross Olson at the Rock the Riverside.
All right.
So we do a lot. It's always, we have our own jobs that we do 40 hours a week, but this takes up all of our other time. You also asked about new things that we're doing. We do have a couple new things inside of the Music Bowl this year that maybe not everybody will know about, except people that are listening to your radio, is where our merch booth is moving. It's going to be moved next to the main stage. A little bit easier for the artists to go visit, sign autographs, sell their merch. A little bit easier for us to just be right there as well. You talk about people helping. Well, both of my daughters, Cassandra and Brady, they run the merch booth. Mm-hmm. So there's another example of how we make things work. And another new thing that we're doing is we're building a new bar. We're going to try to figure out what the name of that bar is. We're going to ask our people on Facebook in the coming future, once we get a picture of it, and say, hey, what do you think the name of this bar should be? So them are our two big things that we're changing inside of the Music Bowl this year.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I know we've talked, you got great volunteers, your family, but the girl sitting next to you is kind of, I think, one of the bread and butter of this whole organization, isn't she, Brad? And
yeah.
You can speak for that. I can't, but I know I go through her, and it seems like everybody kind of goes through her, don't they?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that Jenna just takes care of and doesn't have to say, hey, Brad, what about this? She just knows. She's got a good feeling for the festival, what's the right thing to do. And so we talk nonstop throughout the week about things, but you're right. We have a very trustworthy person to take care of our people.
That's awesome. Jenna, I know you're going to tell us about some future events that are coming up that people can go to as we have the Midsummer Music Fest pre-parties that are going around the area. So can you let us know about some of those?
Yes, and we will have all of this posted on our social media and website as well, kind of as they are coming up each week. But our first pre-party kicks off this Saturday with Cobb. They're going to be at the Thirsty Buffalo Saloon in Buffalo. So we will be there giving away some tickets. We'll have a lot of fun things to do at our booth. You could stop by and get some merch. And then we'll have a lot of other things coming up throughout April, May, and June. So we will have a pre-party on April 11th at Howie's Corner Bar in St. Stephen with Pandemic, who will be at our festival this year. All of our bands are kind of going to be doing ticket giveaways at their shows throughout the year. So Pray for Rain will have one in Fargo at the VFW. Wayside will have one in Brainerd, and System 13 will also have one in Brainerd in May. And then we will be at the Legends of Rock 2026 on June 6th at the Doghouse Bar and Grill in Maplewood, St. Paul area, which will be a really fun day. It starts at noon, and we have Metallica there, the Hybrid Theory. I think there's 5 or 6 tribute bands that day, so that's going to be a really fun one, where we'll be there again with a booth set up. We'll have merch for sale with our 2026 lineup on it, and it'll be a really fun day. And then June 11th is Rock the Riverside in Sauk Rapids, which is always one of our favorite events to get to go to with Ross, and Pandemic will be the headliner there that night. So look out for us again with our booth, and stop by and say hi. And then in June, we'll have a couple more pre-parties. The Hype, which will be our pre-party headliner at the festival, will be in New York Mills at the VFW one night. And then we will have another pre-party in Nimrod Bar and Grill, which is one of our sponsors, with a lot of giveaways that night as well. So lots of fun stuff coming up in April, May, and June. So hopefully we'll see a lot of people out there, and stop by and ask us any questions you have, or get some swag for the festival coming up.
Absolutely. And as you mentioned, mention, too, you have a ton of sponsors, too, that make it possible. And
absolutely.
if you go to the website, Midsummer Music Fest, and also your Facebook page, you're featuring a lot of those sponsors.
They're all listed on there. And again, yes, we should have definitely given them a thank you because we couldn't do it without them as well. And a lot of them have been with us from day one, too. So we really appreciate their support. And that's also a great place to stop by in the campgrounds is Sponsor Road. And they have a lot of big sites set up in there, too, and love to have visitors.
Well, it sounds like everything's good to go. We just need 4 months to show up quickly now, right?
Exactly. Yes, the countdown is officially on.
It is officially on. If people want tickets, the one question I do get asked here at the radio station is there a price increase on tickets at a certain time in that? Do we have price increase dates for that?
Yep, a price increase will be on April 1st. So they have a few weeks still to get their tickets, and then we will have another price increase as it gets closer to the festival. People want to purchase tickets, now is a great time to do it. They can go online, midsummermusicfest.com, or they can call me as well. And my number is listed on our website and our social media too. And then, like Brad said, we can kind of get people right where they want to be. If they're coming with just themselves or if they're coming with a group of 20, we can get them accommodated and get them a good spot.
Somebody's calling Brad already. Just
perfect
says,
timing.
They want tickets. We want in. We want sponsorship. Hey, if somebody wants to sponsor too, is that another way they get hold of you?
Yep, absolutely. And our sponsorship program is actually really easy where we just kind of build them a ticket package based on what they're looking for. And then they get a bunch of great advertising for their business out of it too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I know you guys have more places to stop. Thanks so much for stopping into 94 Rocks. Thanks so much again for this partnership that we've had for almost, it'll be 6 years coming up here. And I'm excited to see the growth of this as it continues to grow and more exciting things coming down the way. So thanks so much, Jena. Thanks so much, Brad.
Yes,
and once again, if more people want information, give us all those sites and where they can get that.
Yep, absolutely. midsummermusicfest.com, or they can give us a call at 218-252-7240.
Jena, Brad, we'll see you in July.
Thank you.
Yep, we'll see you then.
Once again, that is Jena, that is Brad. They're with Midsummer Music Fest coming up July 23rd through the 25th, Monaga, Minnesota. Make sure you're there because we will be.